Let's speak live now to Cundletown resident Anna Godfrey, who's been in the affected area. Anna, thank you so much for your time this morning. It looks beautiful and sunny where you are now, but not the case in recent days. What did you see?
Oh, yes. Well, the scary bit's over for most people. There's still helicopters coming in and out, so I'm assuming that there are still some evacuations. But now we're left with the really unsexy part, which is the cleanup. And it stinks, and the mud is very thick. And certainly for our farmers, the cattle now are in real danger because they're trying to stand and find food, particularly the dairy cows, which need to be obviously milked twice a day. And whole entire farmers have lost their entire herd, which is really tragic. So you have some of us who actually weren't inundated, which is enormously relieving, even though the cleanup is huge. But there's still thousands and thousands of people who are in a terribly tricky situation and still lots without any power at all, which makes the cleanup really, really hard to start.
Anna, for those that don't know your part of New South Wales, tell us where you are, what the river is behind you and what happened.
Yeah, so I live in Cundletown. It's a northern suburb of Taree, so it takes about 5 minutes to get here. That's 3 hours north of Sydney, or an hour south of Port Macquarie, if people know the coast. We had a 6-metre wall of water come through. It was actually 14 metres up at Wingham, which is a town near here, which is still completely isolated. So no getting in, no getting out, which means no food in or out. Cundletown residents are able to get to town today, but the shelves are pretty dire and the milk and the bread supplies are just starting to get through. So, yeah, I mean, pretty much what you can see, every single thing that you can see behind me was completely underwater.
How long
6 metres, if you put 3 cars on top of each other, that's what the wall of water was coming down.
It sounds astonishing. I can't even imagine it. How long have you been there? Have you seen anything like this before?
We've lived here. We moved home from Sydney 13 years ago. We decided to have country kids and move home. We absolutely love living here. We had a very big flood that most people will talk about in 2021. This was significantly bigger than that. So this was definitely the biggest on record. People along the river are used to seeing minor floods. The problem is that insurance is so expensive now that even houses along here, which could afford the insurance, don't have the insurance. So I don't know, I kind of feel like it's really tough going for lots of people. And I see and I hear the emergency funds that have been opened up. I've read some of the criteria already. It's really not on the side of good, hard-working people who pay their insurances and taxes. I'll just say that. And it absolutely stinks for farmers. So there's just not enough on the ground already. So everybody can tick the boxes on emergency declarations. But I can guarantee you now, the best thing that people can do locally, if you haven't been affected, is actually just to go to Coles, Woolies or Aldi and buy a gift voucher and help people restock their fridge or pantry. They've lost everything. There's nothing in their houses. So even just a bit of bread and milk, particularly when you have young children, would be really helpful.
How concerned are you about this happening again in the future?
I have no doubt that it will happen again. I'm not really sure what the solution is, to be honest. That will, I'm sure, be the topic of much further conversation. All we can really do now is clean up. But I would urge the government to have some conversations and some real conversations about things like insurance and genuine support for small business owners and our primary producers. If you're having herds of cows wiped out, there will be a drop in supply of milk. There's a massive amount of milk that comes from the Manning Valley to feed all of New South Wales. So it actually is an issue for everybody that lives in New South Wales. So it's not just a Taree isolated issue. And the insurance stuff that goes on is just insane. It's tiresome to have to listen to some of the stuff that people talk about. So that's what we need on the ground. We need hands on the ground. We need real money support and we need ongoing. So everyone will get back to their lives. It's a bit like when you've had a baby. It's all fun and games for the first couple of weeks and then everyone gets on with their lives. The same thing happens here after a flood. So just staying in contact and making sure that there's ongoing support would be really, really needed.
Well, I look back fondly at bringing up my little kids as babies. I wish they were now. Now they're snotty teenagers. But that seems like a small thing to deal with compared to what you've had to face this week, Anna. It's great to see you putting a smile on your face. We're really sorry you had to go through it, and we wish you all the very best.
Thanks very much.